All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to pick one game every week, weeks 1 through, I put 1 through 13. It's actually 1 through 14, so sue me, sorry. We are going to pick 1 through 14. We're going to pick one game each week we would like to go to, but here's the rules. Rule number 1, you can only go to each stadium once. You can only go to each Big Ten stadium once. And rule number 2, you can't watch a team more than twice. So you cannot go to Ohio State, Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, and Ohio State, Penn State. You can't do that. You got to pick 2 of those 3 if you want to go to 2 Ohio State games. So we are going to go week by week, and we're each going to give our pick, see what we get the same, see if we get different, kind of give some analysis, and then go from there. So Kent, we will let you go first since this was your idea, since this is what you want to do, which somebody else did this too, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say it actually wasn't my idea. I stole it from Eyes on Big podcast, and
right.
I did run it by Jeffrey the Greek before we started, doing the show tonight, and he gave me the okay. So shout out to Jeffrey the Greek. He's one of the best in the business, and him and Jordan did this on their podcast about 3 weeks ago, and I thought it was fun, and let's do it. Should be fun. You want me to do my first pick?
Yeah, I was just going to say Jeffrey Greek's awesome, friend of the program. He and Jordan have both been on here before, and we love every time we can have him on. We'll try to get him on again at some point. But yes, Kent, do your week 1 pick.
All right, so for week 1, I just want to specify this was harder than I thought it was going to be in general to try to make sure that I only watch a team twice and don't go to the same stadium more than once. So with that being said, this is the only time that I'm not at a Big Ten stadium, and I kind of had to do it just the way that everything else shook out. I'm going week 1 to Hawaii, heading out to Hawaii and watching UCLA play the Fighting Rainbows. That's on week 1, right? Or did I do this wrong?
That's week 2.
Oh my God, are you serious? I messed up the first week.
No, that's week 1, isn't it?
Oh, it is week 2. I had it on week 1 on my schedule.
Yeah, it's on
my phone.
Oh, that's wild.
Are you kidding me? Let's pretend like we're
it's
not
week
live
1.
Right now.
This has it wrong. It's week 1. You're good.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah, this has it wrong. It's week 1.
Let me double check now.
Kent is going to Hawaii.
That's a really underrated pick.
Thank you.
Because of the location.
Right.
Excellent.
Starting the football season out in the most beautiful place on earth, and I'm gonna go watch. And that's the other thing too. I didn't want to watch UCLA really at all. So I thought, why not watch them in like one of the most beautiful places on earth? Like I said.
There you go.
All
right, Zach, where are you going?
I'm going to Vegas, baby. USC, LSU.
That's where I'm going to. I figured it was an easy one to kind of get one, so that way I wouldn't be picking a Big Ten stadium. I'll be honest, I went off this list, so I didn't even think about UCLA. Hawaii. I thought about it for week 2 since it was on week 2, but yeah, I want to see USC UCLA. That could be a lot of fireworks in that one. All right, Zach, we will let you go first on week 2. Disregard the UCLA Hawaii. Who's your pick for week 2?
I'm going to the Big House to see them take on Texas. I think that game is going to be spectacular. Yeah, and it's a matchup that we didn't get to see in the playoff a year ago. But should be really good this year.
I agree. That's where I'm going as well. I do think Texas, I do lean Texas to win that one. I'm a little nervous about Michigan's offense, but hey, if Michigan has really good offense, that would be an electric atmosphere and be really cool for Michigan fans. Kent, where are you going?
I'm with you guys. I'm sitting right next to you guys at that game. I mean, that's the best game of the week, right? I don't see any other game that you would want to be at. It kind of stinks that you're burning the Big House on a non-Big Ten team, but it's Texas. So it's like, you don't want to miss that one. It's going to be electric, I think.
Yep.
Can't go to Michigan, Oregon. All right. Number 3, my choice in week 3, I was actually doing Alabama, Wisconsin. Not really other great choices here. I thought about Oregon State, rivalry game, get to witness that a little bit. I also thought about Maryland, Virginia, Notre Dame, Purdue, since we did pick Purdue to win that one, Zach. I think that's going to be a bad pick at the end of the season. But ultimately, I went with Alabama, Wisconsin. But same thing with Michigan. I don't know if Wisconsin's offense is going to be able to keep up with Alabama. Kent, where are you going?
This is going to sound insane, but I have to get these two teams. No offense to Indiana at all, but I'm going to see UCLA once again. I'm going to go out to California and I'm going to watch Indiana at UCLA. And I think you'll see why as I finish out the rest of the 14 picks. I have some really good games down the road, and I kind of had to fill this one because of where I was watching other teams and didn't want to double up on anything. So I'm at Indiana, UCLA. I don't love it. I'm not happy about it. I'll be honest. I really wanted to do Notre Dame, Purdue, and I had that one originally, and then I had to switch it around because of, like I said, this was kind of difficult.
Going to Ross Aid later on. I like it, Kent. All right, Zach, where you going?
I'm with Kent. I want to see. I want to see Kurt Signetti's Big Ten opener, and I want to sit in the Rose Bowl. So let's go together. Let's do it.
Let's go. I love it.
All right.
I was not expecting that.
I'll be at Camp Randall all by myself
at the 50-yard line with
that's fine. Yeah.
No,
but don't worry, I'll have a seat on the other side of the 50-yard line I can go to later on. I'll meet people over there.
There you go.
Oh, no.
Don't film anything though.
Yeah, don't film anything. Oh, I can film stuff. I don't work for anybody. I can film it. I just can't send it to anybody.
That's true.
All right. But Instagram, nobody said anything about Connor getting stuff off Instagram. Okay. Anyway.
There you go.
All right. Week 4. Kent, where you going?
Week 4, I'm at Minnesota, and I'm watching the Hawkeyes play the Golden Gophers. I think this could be a great game. Mm-hmm. I think Iowa's a better team. I think they're going to win the game, but anytime you're going on the road in the Big Ten, you're going to face some challenges, and this has been, a pretty back and forth rivalry. If you remember last year, the whole punt return thing, the, fake fair catch or whatever, invalid fair catch. So there's a little bit of bad blood just from last year, and I think that this could be an intense game. I'm excited to be at this game.
You, Zach?
I'm just following you everywhere, Ken.
Let's go.
Yeah,
right.
We picked Minnesota to upset Iowa in that game.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, and
that's not the worst pick though.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great game though. Yeah, for sure.
In this one, I picked Rutgers, Virginia Tech. I figured going out, Enter Sandman out there at Virginia Tech. I could get to that game. Rutgers, if they win that one, obviously we didn't pick it here, but if they win that one, you're going to see a really invigorated Rutgers team for that. So I'm banking on that one to enjoy. All right, number 5, Zach, we'll go to you first.
They were my other choice, Lane Stadium. I am going to Rutgers to see them take on Washington in a Friday night game.
Defending runner-up champs? I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, national runner-ups, yeah.
Yeah.
Where I think Rutgers is going to beat the national runners-up. But
yeah, there you go.
I think it's going to be an electric atmosphere, though.
Yes, especially if they beat Virginia Tech and they're 3-0. All right, I am choosing Oregon at UCLA. See the Rose Bowl Stadium, see Oregon play. Won't be a very competitive game, I don't think, but it will at least be interesting to watch and have some fun with. Kent, where are you going?
I am, this is week 5, right? I'm at USC. Yes. I'm going to watch the Badgers and the Trojans battle it out. I'm out in California again. Originally, I had a West Coast swing that I was doing week 3, 4, and 5, and I'm realizing I had to switch some stuff around. So I'm going West Coast to Minnesota, back to the West Coast to see Wisconsin. This could be an interesting game because I think that both of these two teams have a ton of question marks coming into this year, and they've been picked to be anywhere from 4-8 to 9-3. Both of these teams have. So this is just going to be a kind of show me game for both of these teams, and it'll be really interesting, I think, to be at that one.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I almost picked that one. I wanted to go to USC a little bit later on, so I had to pick them somewhere else. But that was one I really wanted to go to. All right, number 6. We'll start with me. My week 6 is Rutgers at Nebraska. I'm seeing Rutgers for the second time, but I am going to Nebraska to see them. I won't get to go to Rutgers Stadium, unfortunately, but I will get to go to Nebraska, which is a stadium I've always wanted to go to, and we picked Rutgers here, so if Rutgers is winning this one 5-0, there might be some birding couches in Piscataway. I don't know. Kent, what do you got?
I'm right with you. And for the same reason, too, I've never been to a Nebraska football game, and that's exactly it was one of my top 3 things that I had to do this season in this fake scenario was go out to a game at Nebraska. So I thought that this would be a gem. I definitely would love to be at that game week 6.
I'm joining in the car, boys. Let's go.
Yeah.
I can't
Road
believe
trip.
how many we have in common, Zach.
Yeah, that's fun.
Crazy. Is that
All
the
right,
second
Kent.
time we've all three been at the same game? Because we went to Michigan, Texas too, right?
Yeah. We also went
Yeah,
there.
Okay.
that's
Cool.
two three-fers.
I think we all might be the same one here. Kent, where you going?
Let's see. Where would I go this week? Let's see. I think I'll go to Oregon and
I was going to
watch
say Purdue,
Ohio
Illinois.
State. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Purdue, Illinois that week. No, obviously, everyone's been talking about it all off season. This is pretty much, to me, I think. I said it's the game of the year in the Big Ten. I think it's the number one game. It's the most important game. It's going to decide who's going to win the conference, I think. So, yeah, that game is massively important. Would love to be there for real. And obviously, I'm very excited to watch it on TV. It's going to be a great game. Great game. Can't wait.
Yep.
You going there too, Zach?
Oh yeah.
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 I'm there as well. I would argue game of the year in the nation. Georgia Tech
Maybe.
or Georgia and not Georgia Tech, or maybe Georgia Tech now that they beat Florida State, but Georgia and Texas will give them a little bit of the run for their money. But Ohio State, Oregon, I think this is going to be a very good game or a very big game for the entire nation. So, all right, let's go week 8. And Zach, where are you going on week 8? Boy, we had a ton of away game wins here. Wow. Okay, where are you going?
So I'm seeing Oregon again at Ross Aid.
Oh, okay.
Because personally, I don't have this, but we made this pick that we thought that there might be some spoiler makers happening in this game.
Yeah.
So I think I think if anything, it'll be a fun game.
Little Friday night spoiler maker action. Can't get
Yeah.
mad about that. I am going this was like my throwaway week. If you ever play euchre, you always have to have kind of like a throwaway hand when you get all the numbers and you know how many faces. So this was my week. It's kind of throwaway. I went Iowa, Michigan State. I don't really have any nice things to say about it other than it kept me from picking a different one. Go ahead, Kent.
I actually like that pick more than you think. Those games have been really competitive, especially last year. That game was super close. Well, all Iowa's games were pretty close because they couldn't score. But this was a week. Another thing that I had like in my top 5 I had to do, and it was really difficult to do. It made the whole schedule hard for me. I had to go to Northwestern and see this field because they're playing 2 home games at Wrigley. So I think that only leaves a handful of more games that I can actually go see this stadium by the lake. So I'm going to go to see Wisconsin for, I believe, the second time. Yes, I'm seeing Wisconsin for the second time. And I actually think Northwestern could beat Wisconsin. And it'll be really fun atmosphere. Only 5,000, 6,000 people there. Would be super fun to be at that game. I'm excited about that one. I'll go to Northwestern.
They could win that one for sure. All right, number 9. I am going to. This is another little bit of a throwaway one, but I have a little bit better reasoning here. I'm going to Washington at Indiana. I think Kirk Cignetti's got the home crowd around him. You beat the runner-ups last year in Bloomington. I mean, Kirk Cignetti might get on that mic and just start screaming, "Everybody sucks! This team sucks!" Like he just might be going crazy on that mic. So if Kirk Cignetti gets that done, we picked Washington here, but I think Indiana, if they play like the team some people think they could be, they might be able to get it done. Kent, where are you going?
I am going to go to see Northwestern once again, back-to-back weeks. I'm going to go watch the Wildcats. Got to see a game at Iowa. Again, another like bucket list thing I've never done. Go do the wave, go do all the Iowa things. I don't know what else there is during the game, I guess. Try some of that Iowa beer that they have for the NIL collective, and then possibly see another really good football game. I'm really high on Iowa this year, so I think that they're going to beat Northwestern. But they're always frisky. Northwestern's always in the mix, and that would be a fun game to be at. I'm going to pick Iowa versus Northwestern.
That's what they're known for, being frisky. Zach, where are you going?
I am going to Indiana, Washington as well with you, JR.
Nice. Well, you come stay at the crib.
You guys
I'm not too far
Washington
from Bloomington.
in that game. These are your picks right here, right?
Yeah, we did pick Washington in that game. Reluctantly, I think.
I was going to say, I don't like Washington.
Don't judge us, Kent. Don't judge us. Okay.
Not that I don't like them. I don't like.
I heard the there. Okay. All right. Kent, your pick first here, week 10.
I had to go see Illinois at some point, so this was the week. I'm gonna go see Minnesota for the second time. I am so off Illinois. Like, I actually did this too. I don't know if you guys even tried to do this, but I'm assuming that you did. I wanted to see all 18 teams at one point as well. Did you guys do that too, or no?
I don't think I'm seeing Illinois.
Okay, see, like
Yeah.
I almost kept them off, but I was like, I want to see all 18. So I'm gonna go to Illinois and watch Minnesota for the second time. So Minnesota at Illinois, probably my second least excited I am for this game,
Zach,
like for the whole
That was
season,
fair.
I should say.
I just realized I may have exploited a rule.
Did you break a
oh,
rule?
No, Connor, don't do it.
No, I don't think
Is it the
yet.
gray
don't come
area of the
clean.
rule?
It's a
Don't come
great-
clean. Just say you didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
Iowa, Wisconsin. Yeah, at Kinnick. I would love to go to Kinnick at some point. I think that's a good rivalry game. Old Big Ten West foes.
Yeah, I agree. I want to go do the wave. I don't know what other Iowa things there are, as Kent said, but I do want to go do the wave and whatever other Iowa things there are. Drinking beer, I suppose. Yeah,
I
I'm all
want
for
to
it.
do the wave when Ohio State's not playing them and not get killed by 31 points.
Yeah, that sounds
That's
good.
when I want to do the wave. Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, what are we on now? Week 11. Zach, it's to you.
So I feel like since I live in Pennsylvania, I gotta go to Beaver Stadium at some point, and I'm seeing them take on the Huskies.
Same here. We'll road trip together, man. Actually,
Nice.
I'll stay at your crib
I
this
just say
time.
you stay at my house.
There we go. There we go. Kent,
There we
you
go.
join us?
Do you have an extra room? Because I'm
There we
coming as
go.
well.
Beautiful.
I believe this is the. I could be mistaken here, but I heard a couple. Doesn't matter how long ago it was. Is this the whiteout game?
Ooh, I think it might
That's
be.
a good question. It probably is. I
I
think.
think that this is the whiteout game. That's why I picked this one. And obviously, I just want to go to Beaver Stadium as well. So, like, yeah, that was why I picked this one. Also, just not a lot of other good games this week. If you look up and down, it's like, Rutgers, Minnesota might be a good game, but the rest of them, it's like, I don't know.
Not really other ones you could have chosen because we already went to Oregon. Already went to at least I already went to UCLA. All right, number 12. My pick here, I'm going to go with Nebraska at USC. My second time seeing both of these teams, but I do want to go out to the Coliseum, see that game. And hey, if Nebraska wins this one, that could be a huge turning point for them and not just their season, because who knows what their season's going to look like, but just for their, beating a blue blood, something Nebraska hasn't done, at least in the Big Ten, hasn't done in a while. So it would be very cool for them. I'm going to pick that one. And also, it's always fun to see USC, high-powered offense. Fun to see. Kent, where are you going?
I have not seen Maryland play yet this year, so I'm going to go to Rutgers at Maryland. And also, I do think that this could be an intriguing game because, as we know, the history with Maryland start out really strong usually. This could be where they're in the middle of a downslide, and Rutgers is winning a game that like could put them in an even better bowl game at this point, or Maryland is doing something they don't do usually and winning a game. What would this be in like early November, which would be incredible. So I think it could be an intriguing matchup anyways, but yeah, Rutgers at Maryland.
I am going to USC as well. USC, Nebraska. And part of it, we picked Nebraska to upset USC. I think it's going to be an electric atmosphere. So, but
Yeah. I just realized I've been neglecting the chat. I apologize, chat. Philip said Minnesota versus Iowa final score 3-2. Or 7-3, 2 safeties and a field goal. Bielema finally going down, and then they also said Rutgers versus Minnesota has the storylines though.
I
They
would
forgot
have-
about that.
if I didn't have to do the 2 games like rule, I would have gone there. I would have picked them over Penn State, Washington. But alas, although now that I know
You
it's the
can't
whiteout,
break the rules, Zach. You have
Is
to
there like
follow
a big
the rules.
storyline I'm missing with that game?
Ethan Kaliak-Manis.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They
Yeah,
also
I am
took
missing it.
Soraka.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They took Soraka as well.
What, a year or 2 ago? All right, week 13. I think it's back to you, Kent.
13. I am Purdue at Michigan State. Haven't seen either one of these teams play. So again, just kind of going off my own little weird rule that I made on the side that I wanted to see everyone play. Also, I think this is a Friday night game, so I could be mistaken, but Friday night games. I meant to mention this earlier when Zach was picking a couple. Probably the best move to make because you can get back home and you see the whole Saturday slate still. You're not missing anything by going to a Saturday game. So I'll go on this week. I'll go to a Friday game and I'll still get to watch all these other games at home. So I'll go Purdue at Michigan State.
Great point,
Good.
Zach.
Good pick. So I picked this out of the fact that I couldn't really go anywhere else, or I didn't want to see any of the other games. But I'm doing Maryland hosting Iowa.
All right.
Yeah.
It's going to be
think-
very roomy. It'll be basketball season by then. The Maryland
Yeah.
fans are saving up their money for basketball. So
Yeah,
it'll be very
it's-
roomy for you.
It's a comfort play.
Yeah.
And also I think because of the way Iowa is, I think it could be competitive. So
I only make that joke if you're a Maryland fan. I only make that joke because that was the joke that the guys who were in Big Banter would make all the time for Maryland. They were like, "Oh yeah, just go to football games after basketball season starts because nobody goes. They're all spending their money on basketball tickets." I am going to Penn State at Minnesota. I want to go up to Minnesota. Want to see that stadium, see everything there. And Penn State sounds like a great opponent. What does Penn State look like by then? If they are doing well, do they choke on the chicken bone? That would be really, really fun to see. All right, week 14, Zach. This is a hard one, right, Zach? I mean,
I thought about the old Oaken Bucket.
Illinois Northwestern.
So I had like started before I read the rules because that's important. I was like, Old Oaken Bucket was like one of my top 3 games to go to. It's obviously the game. It's obviously Ohio State, Michigan. Like it can't be anything other than that, especially with the way things have been the past 4 years. And, we're talking about a documentary on this, at the beginning of the show. It's got to be Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah, that's where I'm going as well. I do think Minnesota, Wisconsin. I thought about it just so that way I could free up like another Ohio State, Michigan game to go to. I thought about Ohio State, Northwestern, going to Wrigley Field and seeing that game. But yeah, I mean, Ohio State, Michigan, I just could not go. Kent, you going with us?
Yes, obviously. I've been to the game one time, and I would like to go back and see another the game. And this would be a great year to do it, I think. I think that Ohio State's going to win it. I know we're not doing predictions, but this has to be the year that they beat Michigan after everything that's happened the last 3 years. So it would be interesting to see what happens and what's on the line at this point in the season, especially for Ohio State, I think. So, yeah, I would love to be at that game.
If they don't win, we could witness Ryan Day's final game as coach for Ohio State. We could witness him getting fired on the field, like pull a Herm Edwards from a couple years ago.
You know what's so weird? I was watching that game live, that Arizona State game.
Did you see the firing live?
Yes.
Oh,
wow.
Like I saw him walking off the field, and like the dude stopped him like in the end zone. Like everyone's seen the video at this point, but I have no idea why I was watching that game, but I watched the whole thing. I think I bet on it is why. And I saw that whole thing go down, and I was like, I wonder what that guy is doing. And then, like, the next morning, I heard that he got fired. I was like, I think he got fired on the field. He did. Crazy.
Poor dude.
I don't know why I was watching that game, but I was.
Hey, he was a rule breaker, too. So he got what was coming to him. And he couldn't even win while breaking the rules. So you're extra bad if that happens.
Yeah.